Hey everyone, in today's tutorial I'll be showing you how I quickly edit my portrait pictures. Now depending on the picture I'll either edit in both Photoshop and Lightroom or just in Lightroom, and I'll mainly use Photoshop for any picture manipulations or to edit the background of a picture. But for this tutorial I'll be using Lightroom because as you can see this picture doesn't require too much editing. And I'll show you how to get from this image to this image. Now I've already uploaded a duplicate of this picture into Lightroom. And as you can see on the right hand side on Lightroom there's a histogram which will show you all the settings that you had when you took the picture. So your ISO, your focal length, aperture and shutter speed. Now when I start to edit my pictures I like to start off with the skin. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in. And I'm going to use a brush tool to soften out the skin. So on the right hand side you'll be able to see the brush tool, and if you scroll all the way up and click on it there's an effects drop down bar, and that is where you can choose what you want to edit. Now I'm just going to adjust the brush size and then swipe over the skin to give it a more softer look.
Purchase your tracks today.
And once you think you are done you can click on the mask overlay and it will show you any places that you have missed out, and then you can just go over it and touch up any more spaces. And as you can see in the before and after, this is just with the softening tool. You can see how it blurs out the skin, but it keeps it looking like skin. Now the next thing I like to do is go in with the clone tool and remove any blemishes. And I tend to use the clone tool over the heal tool only because it's able to duplicate another part of the skin and put that on top of what you're trying to remove, and that just makes sure that you're keeping the skin looking as natural as it can be. And the next thing I'm going to do is increase the clarity of the eyes. So I'm just going to go with the brush tool and increase that. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a red eye. So if you go onto the red eye correction, you zoom in, you can change the size depending on the size of the pupil, and it will instantly remove that red eye for you. Now I like to increase the whiteness around the eyes, and if the teeth are showing, the teeth as well. So I'm just going to go with the brush tool and go on teeth whitening and just brush over all the parts that I want to increase the level of white. And as you can see, the picture is already starting to come together. You can see a before and after of the image, and with just a few tweaks, it's already looking a lot better than it did before. Now on the histogram, you can see there is a large peak towards the left, and that just means that there's a lot of shadow within the picture, which you can clearly see, and it was just the look I was going for, so I'm just going to keep it how it is. Now I'm just going to go and tweak the temperature, highlights, shadows, and the blacks in order to make the picture pop more. Now as you can see, the leaves and the jacket and the earrings are all different shades of green. So in order to make them blend a bit more, I'm going to tweak their HSL, and I'm going to go to the green and drop it all the way back down to -100, and that's just going to make the leaves a bit more darker. And the next thing I'll need to do is now change the color of the jacket, and I'm just going to go all the way up to the tint, and I'm just going to brush over the jacket and change the color of that as well. This is the before and after picture done, and I'm very happy with how it looks like at the moment. So what I normally do last is the grain. Some people don't like to add grain, but I prefer to add a grain to all of my pictures, and I'm only going to add a little bit, around 34, and I'm going to adjust the roughness until I think it looks good and I'm happy with it. And I'm just gonna check it at different sizes to make sure that I'm happy with the overall picture. And I'm just gonna go ahead and export the picture. So here is a raw image and the now edited final image side by side, and as you can see, with a few adjustments on Lightroom, you can really quickly transform your image. So thank you guys for joining this tutorial, and be sure to check out Mamelo's page for more tutorials and tips.